Hello, Nick Stone here. I'm the conference producer at Art Group, and today we're talking about the KM Summit, which you're going to see in central London on the 4th and 5th of June. We're delighted to have David Gurteen here with us today. David has had 25 years of independent consulting experience. Some of you might have actually seen David and his knowledge cafes. Some of those you will have seen them. So I'm here to talk about the work that you're going to be doing at the event in June and around conversational leadership. And I really want you to talk to us about where that focus and energy and where that drive is coming with conversational leadership at the moment.
Okay, Nick. Let's just look at conversational leadership, and let's just tease apart those two words, conversation and leadership, and look at conversation. Going back to about the year 2000, there was a book published called the Clue Train Manifesto, and one of the authors was a gentleman called David Weinberg, who I've got a huge amount of respect for. And one of the interesting things he said in there was that knowledge management shouldn't be about filling people's heads with stuff, with information. That wasn't fundamentally what it was about. That knowledge management was fundamentally about making sense of that stuff, making sense of the world, fundamentally in order to make better decisions. And to me, that struck a chord because it clearly distinguishes, if you like, knowledge management, knowledge from information, if you will. And then he went on to say, hey, how do we make sense of the world? And he says the way that as human beings we've always done it, going back to the campfires, prehistory, with the stories that we told each other, with the anecdotes that we shared, with the conversations that we had. So fundamentally the message I took away from that is that it's through conversation that we make sense of the world. And that's the conversational part of conversational leadership.
That's interesting. Tell us a little bit more about that ability to act in conversational leadership.
Well, that's you come on to the leadership part of it. And I say, over the years I've been influenced by a number of people. Again, going back maybe 10, 15 years, there was, I think he's still there, a gentleman called Michael Schrage at MIT, a researcher in collaboration. And he said something at the time that just sort of caused me to jerk back, as he said, knowledge management is a bullshit issue. And I thought, oh, I love this. What's he got to say? And he said, the problem in knowledge management or knowledge is that you can give people perfect information. You can give them perfect knowledge. They can know exactly what they need to do, but not have the power to act on it. So his message was, knowledge is not power, which many people think it is. Knowledge alone is not power. The ability, the human agency to act on that knowledge, that is power. And if you think about it, the way that anybody in an organization can usefully act on the knowledge they've got, they've got to get a buy-in from a lot of people. They've got to get a buy-in from their boss. They've got to get a buy-in from people who have got the budget and the authority to move things forward. They've got to work with other people. And how do you do that? You do it through influence. You do it through the conversations that you have. So you're bringing those two together. You kind of get this concept, if you like, of conversational leadership. Acting, influencing through the conversations that you have. And there's a bit more to it than that, but that's the essence of conversational leadership.
And David's talked about the ability to act and go from here. Where do we go with conversational leadership?
Well, it's maybe not so much where we go. I mean, what's interesting, as you think as you know, I'm writing an online book on this topic. I call it a blook, which is a rather interesting sort of term because it's a cross between a blog and a book, so hence a blook. And one of the questions that I kept coming back to in my mind was, so why do we need this? Because intuitively I found it was really important. And I kept coming back to it. Why am I doing this? Why is this important? And I can look back now over sort of the last 50 years of my lifetime, a little bit more if the truth be known. And what I've seen in that time is the world is a much more connected world, a hyper-connected world. And I'm not just talking about the internet and the World Wide Web and Facebook. I'm talking about sort of the global economy. It's phenomenally interconnected. And as we move to this so-called digital economy and the Internet of Things, the world's only going to become more and more interconnected. And the consequence of that is massive complexity. And the problem with complexity is that it's a whole different ballgame, if you will. The American military refer to sort of complexity as, they say that we're living in a volatile, uncertain, confusing, ambiguous world. And it's that we've got to deal with. Well, if you're looking to make sense of that world, fundamentally what you're doing is you're bringing people together with different cognitive abilities, diverse ways of looking at things, in order to make sense of it, in order to act. It seems to me that as a human race, if we're going to survive another, I don't know, 100 years, we have got to get better at making sense of what's going on around us and acting appropriately. So this is why I think it's so important.
David, thanks very much indeed for your time this afternoon. How about that for some teasers on conversational leadership? We're really pleased to see David at the KM Summit. He'll be doing a plenary session for everybody at the event towards the end of the 2 days. And we look forward to seeing you there, and we look forward to seeing you too. Thank you.